the silent epidemic called self-silencing. You're welcome to day 5 of the Confidence in the Diaspora series, and I am Leslie Grace, the founder of the Smart Speakers Academy, the one who has come with solution for my dear busy professionals in the diaspora, the solution to this silent epidemic called diaspora. Yes, I named this diaspora because I found out that the solution to it is a different kind of confidence, because of course you're navigating a different kind of environment and a different kind of epidemic. So today you want to tag a professional on this conversation. You want to let everybody know that this conversation has begun again on confidence in the diaspora. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you, smart ones, my dear smart business professionals. Yes, I'm that coach for you. Yes, and we've been talking about the invisible weights that hold diaspora professionals back. And today we confront one of the most dangerous of them: self-silencing. You know, too many professionals are in this space where they think, hello everyone, and yes, you're welcome. The first person to join us today is Francisca. Hello, Francisca. How has your day been? So good to have you. Yes, and let's have this conversation because too many professionals are silent. But the sad reality is they actually think that their silence is owing to maybe the situations they find themselves in. Some of them think that, it is condition. You know, that kind of, they say, okay, is this condition that has kept me in this place? I really do not know what is happening. Some of them have several reasons why they think some things are happening to them. But I want to say to you today, dear busy professional, that the issue actually is self-silencing. The silence you feel is actually a self-induced silence. Hi, Anome. So I'm not here to blame you. The goal is not to blame you or to say, oh, you are the reason. Come and look for a solution to this problem. No, not actually. I'm not here to blame you. I'm actually here to provide you a solution to this epidemic, to show you that, okay, there's a way out. Let's look for a solution. But, you know, when you name a problem, then you can now be able to tame it. Of course, we can relate with that. And so, yeah, let's have this conversation. Are you ready? Are you ready for this conversation today? All right, let's go. The silent epidemic called self-silencing. We've been talking about this invisible weight that hold diasporas down, this heavy burden that is there. And today it's not just about speaking less, it is called self-silencing. All right? You weren't always this quiet. I want you, as a business professional, to actually pause and think about it. You were not always this quiet. This is not you. You are not this quiet, silent person that anyone can actually lump anything on and you'll not be able to speak up. But however, it's as if you no longer realize that your voice has begun to shrink. It's as if it's something that is happening to you, but you're not realizing that your voice is actually beginning to shrink. What I want you to do is to sit to this conversation today, tag a professional, let everybody know that this conversation has begun, so that I can show you a way out. What is self-silence? Self-silencing is the conscious or unconscious habit of muting your own voice. Not because you don't have something to say, but because you've convinced yourself that it's safer not to speak. Again, not because you don't have something to say, but something in you has convinced you long enough that it's actually safer to just be quiet. So most times it shows up as you're holding back ideas in meetings, you are over-editing images, you are deleting your social media posts, you are speaking in rooms and second-guessing anything you say, or later after speaking, you go back to think about it and you're wondering, did I say it rightly? Shouldn't I have said that? Why didn't I even just shut up? You know, you then realize that you begin to play small, even though you are full of wisdom. So back home, they used to call you King Solomon, Queen Solomon, the wise one. The one who, when he or she shows up, we know that liquid wisdom has arrived. But suddenly, you've gone quiet. It's as if the wisdom is missing. It's as if we're looking for it. You know, most of us call it caution. Say, no, I'm trying to be safe. Even as I'm narrating it now, some of you just feel, you know what? See, coach, leave this thing. We're just trying to be cautious. We just want to be careful. But you know what? It is fear wearing professionalism. A well-dressed fear is what you are calling caution. Is what you are calling playing safe. Is what you are calling, I don't want it to look as if. You're just naming it differently. But I'm here to tell you today that it is fear wearing professionalism. It is fear wearing a suit and a bow tie. The truth is, this happens more in the diaspora. And the question is why? I'll tell you why. You know, when you move to a new culture, you don't just relocate. So what happens to you is beyond physical relocation. What happens to you is that you experience internal disorientation. Physically, you relocated. However, what happened to you is an internal disorientation. You start hearing things like you talk differently. You start hearing things like you are too passionate. This thing you're doing, why not just calm down? You start hearing things like you are aggressive. You're sounding aggressive. You start hearing things like your credentials don't count here. You are different. You don't get it. You know, you are just new here. That's what you keep hearing. And guess what? Because our conversations become a reality, over time, without realizing it, you choose silence over struggle. That's what you think you're doing. You feel like, you know what? Let me just be silent. Let's not look as if I'm struggling. You know, I just came. But silence doesn't protect you. It makes you invisible. The silence that you think, oh no, I just want to be silent. It's not protecting you. It's actually making you disappear. Soonest, like in the case of most professionals now, it seems as if they are missing. To be honest, most of them feel like they want to come back. It's not just about being silent. It's that the person is gradually vanishing, disappearing. That is what is called self-silencing. It is louder in the diaspora. It is much more with diasporans. But the good news is there's a way out. It comes in 3 stages, and I'd love to show you the stages so that you can identify where you are and then seek intervention. Number 1, suppression. You begin to withhold your inputs. So you say things like, maybe it's not that important. Let me not say it. No, don't say it. It's not that important. Suppression. That's the first stage of self-silence. Suppression. Begin to suppress ideas that you have that will move that organization forward. You are suppressing yourself. Most times it's tied to the fear of rejection. What if they say no? What if they say this African girl has begun again? What if they say, who is she? What does she think she is? And my question for you, and then what if they reject you? See, rejection is a feedback. And for me, if I get a feedback on something, it's learning. If you can only sit with that feedback and actually ask yourself, okay, what happened? What could I have done differently? You learned. So nothing. It wasn't a rejection. It was a learning back. It was a feedback. Number 2, the second stage of self-suppressing, self-silencing, apart from suppression, number 2 is substitution. So what you do is that you send the email to your boss and you say, sir, please, can you package this way when you want to talk about it? It is you. So you know when it was Isaac, right? Esau and Jacob. And Isaac said, is the voice of Jacob but it's the skin. So when he reached to touch the skin, he still felt the hairy Esau. But then it was the voice of Jacob. So that's what you're doing, substitution. It's the handwriting of you. It's your handwriting, but it's the voice of your boss. It is the idea that came from you, but it's the boss of your superior or the voice of your colleague. Yes, that's your white-skinned colleague. That's your colleague that is from that area. That's the person that you would rather prefer to talk. You are substituting yourself. You know, just like that Esau and Jacob scenario, right? That substitution happened. And guess what? There was no Esau. Do you know? There was no Esau. Like, Esau vanished. The moment he could be substituted for, he got missing. So, this second stage of self-silencing is bad, just like the first one. Where you try to let others speak for you, or you only write instead of your voice. You are substituting yourself. Very soon, the voice will be missing, if it's not already missing. Very soon, we'll be looking for the person. And before it gets too late, like in Esau's case, when he came and said, everything is gone. Let's seek intervention before it gets too late. You know what? Each time I think of my busy professionals in the diaspora, I feel like, God. I was still looking at the bundles even today. All of the 21 in one bundle. And I'm like, oh Lord. It's a lot. You know, the total of the bundle is actually a product of challenges that I have had to deal with busy professionals. I was in a session with one yesterday. I was in a session with one today again. And for each time, I keep hearing these issues. So we had to sum them up. For instance, in the case of substitution, we had to create what we call the voice fidence guide. Because I have found too many professionals who lose confidence in their voice. Sometimes it's because of their accent. And I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago we had this conversation. And people in the comment section were saying it's because of language barriers, because you don't sound the way they sound and all of that. You know, accent. You do not have confidence in the way you sound. You feel like your accent is sounding odd. We created the accent fidence guide for you. Because you cannot be substituted for. You shouldn't be replaced by someone else. You are struggling to speak. It's another challenge. It's another challenge. Some people, it's not as if they have confidence in their voice. They have confidence in their accent. But they lack the confidence to actually now speak. We created a speak fidence guide for you. 21 in one. Each guide to address each issue. You know why we had to make it this way? Because we discovered that there are some professionals that deal with each of these challenges at different phases of their lives. So I had to deal with a professional who relocated to a nation, but now she was moving from provinces. So she was moving from one province to another province in the same nation. In still a foreign nation. Guess what? She was dealing with a different kind of issue because the province is different. That particular client is the reason we curated the Move Fidence Guide. When you have to move from one place to another, inside that same diaspora, right? In that nation that you are, there is a kind of confidence that you need. That takes us to number 3. The third stage of self-silencing is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. You stop applying. You stop pitching. You stay behind, even though you are ready. You know it. You know it that if you start packaging your African delicacies or your local dishes in that environment, that there are some people that will buy it. But guess what? You have stopped trying. Because you tried once, 2 times, 3 times, it's not thriving the way you think it should thrive. You stopped. See, you are self-sabotaging yourself. You are self-sabotaging. You know you are ready. Why stop? Why stop? And I get it, because at the point you are unwilling to try, confidence is missing. I want this to stick. It's my absolute definition for confidence, and I run with it. I want you on this life to run with it as well. Confidence is the willingness to try. The lack of confidence is unwillingness to try. So the moment this thing you have basic knowledge, you should be talking about it, you should be there right there doing it, and you are willing to try even when you are ready, it's self-sabotage. It's a phase. It's a phase. It's a stage of self-silencing. Now, I want to show you the science and the psychology behind this. Right? Studies have found out that when people with high competence relocate to unfamiliar environments, they often underestimate their value. So it's not because they are less skilled, it's that they have this increased self-monitoring in new cultures. Most times it's all in their head. So they begin to watch how they sound, they begin to watch how they look, they begin to watch how they are perceived. And guess what the result is? Voice fatigue, fear of rejection, loss of self, loss of style. Because you are wondering how they see me. If I come in this my hair, am I going to look a certain way? So see, we even had to create hair feeders for you. You know why? Too many diasporas are struggling with the way their hair look in the diaspora. You know, these are silent fears. They are silent fears. They are so silent, they have silenced you. So you do not even know that it's a challenge. But you know, ever since we began this conversation, we've had a couple of number of people that have come out to say, finally, thank you that you could actually say this. Trust me, we put in a lot of work to get our numbers and statistics right, to say that, hey, this is the solution, we can do something. That is why this good news shouldn't be kept to you alone. You should let a professional know. A professional struggling. That one that is always tying her hair because she feels her hair is not supposed to be here. So you begin to watch how you sound. The problem is that you soon start not sounding at all. You are watching how you look. You start losing your style. You that could dress a certain way back home, you have lost your essence of style just because you are there. We created something for you. Style feeders. Yes. There's a confidence in your style. No, there's no need. It doesn't feel like we need it where we're home, when we're home. But you see that place, right? You need it. So you begin to wonder how you are perceived, your results. Are they good enough? You know, the truth is that immigrants with strong intellectual capital skill can still underperform just because they japa. They can still perform below potential in their various nations just because they japa. Most times, it's not due to lack of skill. No, they didn't lose their skills. It's due to an internal withdrawal and a muted confidence. Suddenly, they realize that their confidence is muted. Do you remember Moses in the Bible? Educated, royal, intelligent. But after Moses relocated from Egypt to Midian, when God called him to speak, what did he say? I am not eloquent. Sir, how have you been speaking? How? You've been speaking. Moses, you have been speaking. Let's hear you speak the way you've been speaking. All of a sudden, Moses is saying things like, I am slow of speech. No, this isn't humility. No, don't get it wrong. No. It is a relocation-induced self-doubt. A relocation-induced self-silencing. Because Moses had the message, just like you. You know you've got the message. But guess what? Guess what? Moses muted his own voice. Are you like that? It feels like you have muted your own voice. You just need to unmute already. You just need to unmute already. I want to show you how to break that circle. That circle of self-silencing, substituting yourself, self-sabotaging, self-doubting, all of the crises you're having with your self-esteem, even as a professional, just because you jabber. Here is how to begin reversing self-silencing. I want to show you how to reverse self-silencing. Number one, call it what it is. Don't paint it. Don't rename it. You know, that's why we have to put in the work, do the research. I will say this thing is called diaspora. Let's call it what it is. Let's name it. Because you know, the first process towards taming anything is naming. The moment we can name it, even in medicine, that's what they do. The moment they identify a particular pattern of a disease, they begin to look for a name for that disease. The moment they name it, then we can now start looking for a cure for it. So that's why it feels like in the medical world, they are always bringing out names of diseases. No, it's not that they bring out a name before they discover. No, they discover the symptoms. And then they begin to say, okay, if we want to find a cure to this, let's at least give it a name first. So that's what happens. How do you begin to reverse self-silencing? Number one, the first way is to call it what it is. It is self-silencing. Silence that comes from fear, not wisdom. No, it's not wisdom. It's not, I'm trying to be wise. I'm just trying to let it not look as if I'm a foolish person. No. It is the silencing coming from fear, not from wisdom. Number two, challenge it with the truth. Now that you've been able to call it what it is, I want you to challenge it with the truth. What is the truth? Remind yourself of your training, your experience, your value. Remind yourself. You are a doctor. You didn't become less of a doctor because you went abroad. You are still a full, complete human. You were sent to that nation. It was no accident. And even if it was an accident, that is where you are now. So, let's make the best use of where we are in the interim. So you need to remind yourself of your training, your experience, your value. Number three, practice visible expression. Practice visible expression. If it means that you have to express yourself visibly before anywhere, you have to practice it. Oh yes, you have to practice it. Practice visible expression. You need to practice visible expression. Visibly express it too. Because it is you that will have to do it. So speak even if your voice is shaky. Post even if it feels unsure. Speak. Try to replace sending of emails with speaking. You are in a meeting and they say make your suggestions. You don't want to say anything. So that when after the meeting is over, after some minutes, and then the boss will now say, okay, if you weren't able to speak up, just do me an email, I'll check it. Speak. With the shaky voice, speak. With the unsure voice, speak. Just speak. Just go ahead and speak. Number four, build a new rhythm. Build a new rhythm. So confidence doesn't come from waiting. Confidence comes from walking. So you need to start actually making moves. You need to start actually making moves. If you are just waiting, what you're looking for may not come. You can't just sit down there and you are waiting. You know, the man at the beautiful gate. It's such a question to ask. How is he there at the beautiful gates? And all kinds of miracles are happening there. Because he was waiting. So confidence doesn't come from the waiting. It comes from walking. It comes from doing. So practice what I have just told you now. You need to walk. You need to move. Here's my recommendation. The Total Fidence bundle is for you. The beauty about that bundle is that everyone who gets it will actually sit in a room to have the confidence in the Diaspora Masterclass. So I'm not just lumping bundles on you. No. We're having the confidence in the Diaspora Masterclass first. Then when we have that class, you can then I walk you through how to go about the whole process and getting your confidence back. Then the guides will now be more like Arsenal to actually help you navigate. Okay, so you get to be in the class. I'll also be giving you checklists. I'll be giving you trackers that will help you track this journey, because it's a journey. You are on a journey to get back your confidence back right there in the diaspora. So I'll be giving you checklists, trackers, templates, confidence cards, signages, things that you would need. See, it's not the kind of class that you'll attend and you're still wondering where you were lost. No. So you want to actually get these tools. Get the 21-in-1 bundle. Use the link in our bio. If you put in the comment section Diaspora, a team member will reach out to you and give you the details. If you're on YouTube, just comment Diaspora, the same thing. We would reach out to you and give you the link, right? Or send us a DM on Instagram, on Facebook at the Smart Speakers Academy, and we will reach out to you. You want to send us an email, you can as well. The smartspeakersacademy@gmail.com, and we'll get your email. But you'll be getting confidence scripting templates, you'll be getting self-unmuting playbooks that will help you. You'll be getting diaspora visibility checklists that can help you. You also get speak rhythm drills, how you can actually start speaking in these places. And then you get courage activation journals. They are there. The journal prompts have been embedded already, so they will help you a whole lot. So you want to actually get your confidence. You know, it's sad because most professionals I've met, it feels like they can't recognize themselves. They're like, this is me. These things were not hard for me back home. So I can relate to your challenge. I've worked with a number of you or your kind, and I can tell you that the solution is finally here. So I want to let you know that you are not too loud. No. You are not too African. No. You are not too Chinese. No. You are not too Nigerian. No. You are not too anything. You are called to speak. So the circle of self-silencing has to end, because you are called to speak. Do you know how many times God said in the Bible? God said. Even this world, God had to say it to see it. So how are you human and you're not going to say anything? No. The way it is in our DNA, we are wired to speak. We are created by a speaking creator. We are here to speak. And God said. It's layered all over the Bible countless times. And God said. So you are in this world, created to speak. So you have been put in this space to own your voice and release your words. Now let your voice match your brilliance. Dear busy professionals, let your voice match your brilliance. All of the work you have put in, you've read books, you've done the work, you've gotten certifications. It's time for your voice to match your brilliance. This is not the season to stay muted. This is the season to actually rise. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an amazing time having you here. I'll see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at the Smart Speakers Academy. Share this live with everybody you know that is struggling with confidence in the diaspora. I'll see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. This is the Smart World.